your thumb moves 3 inches a minute. A relentless, vertical marathon through a gallery of lives you aren't living. You are surrounded by voices, yet the silence in your room feels heavy, almost physical. Why is it that in the era of total connectivity, the ghost of isolation has never been more present? We have traded the warmth of a handshake for the cold glow of a like. We are like deep-sea divers, connected to the surface by a thin, digital cable, terrified that if the signal drops, we cease to exist. You aren't just bored. You are experiencing a specific, modern pathology, the agony of being known by everyone, but seen by no one. We are a crowd of billions, standing back to back, staring into our own palms. Meet Elias. Elias is a social architect. On the screen, his life is a curated masterpiece of warm filters and brunch tables. He has 42,000 followers, a digital city-state that validates his every meal, his every sunset, his every manufactured thought. It is 3:14 a.m. The blue light of his phone cards deep shadows into his face, making him look like a marble statue in an abandoned museum. He scrolls through his contact list. Thousands of names. Icons of faces he recognizes but souls he doesn't know. He stops at a name. A girl he talked to for 6 hours at a party 3 years ago. He hovers. He wants to say, "I am afraid of the morning." But he knows the social contract. You don't call a connection at 3 a.m. to discuss the abyss. You send a meme. You post a story. He realizes that his followers are not a community, they are an audience. And an audience demands a performance. He is the actor, the director, and the stagehand of his own life, but there is no one in the dressing room when the lights go out. He is experiencing what we might call the paradox of the interface. The more windows we open to the world, the more we realize we are looking at a mirror. To understand Elias's hollow chest, we must look at the skeletal structure of our society. Part A, Marx and the Alienation of the Self. Karl Marx spoke of Gattungswesen, our species' essence. He argued that under capitalism, we become alienated from the products of our labor. But in the digital age, we are the product. When we turn our personalities into content, we alienate ourselves from our own souls. We no longer experience a sunset, we extract a sunset for its social value. We become commodities in our own marketplace. Like a factory worker separated from the finished car, we are separated from our own authentic emotions because they have been processed for engagement. Part B, the lonely crowd. Sociologist David Riesman identified a shift from inner-directed people, those with an internal moral compass, to other-directed people. The other-directed individual is like a radar, constantly scanning the environment for signals of approval. The conflict. Here lies the friction. Marx tells us we are alienated by the system, Riesman tells us we are imprisoned by our need for the herd. If we follow Marx, the solution is to reclaim our labor, our attention. If we follow Riesman, the solution is to turn off the radar. But there is a darker truth. We have confused loneliness with solitude. Loneliness is a hunger, the pain of being alone when you don't want to be. It is a punishment. Solitude is a feast, the glory of being alone by choice. It is where the self is born. In our rush to escape the punishment of being alone with our thoughts, we have accidentally destroyed our capacity for the glory of being ourselves. How do we walk back across the bridge? It starts with a reframing. If we accept that our digital connections are a market, Marx, and our need for approval is a radar, Riesman, then our anxiety about missing out, or being unliked, becomes illogical. It is like being upset that a vending machine doesn't love you back. The practical formula. If we accept that solitude is the laboratory of the soul, then the time we spend without a screen becomes a luxury, not a void. Try this, the 3:0 a.m. audit. Look at your digital world. If you cannot call them when you are breaking, they are not friends, they are scenery. Stop performing for the scenery. Reclaim your species' essence. Do something today that cannot be photographed. Feel a grief that you don't tweet. Taste a meal without sharing it. When you stop producing yourself as a product, you begin to exist as a human. The crowd may stay lonely, but you will find yourself standing in the center of it, finally whole. The screen is a thin veil. Behind it, there is a world that doesn't care about your reach. It cares about your breath, your touch, and your presence. Elias puts his phone face down. The room is dark, but for the first time, the darkness doesn't feel like an abyss. It feels like a canvas. The question isn't how to get more people to notice you. The question is, when everyone is watching, who is left to actually be? Don't find a way to be connected. Find a way to be real.